Is this the best chicken dish yet? Well, if it isn't, it comes very close to it. I mean, it's creamy, it's savory, it's sweet, it's a little tangy, it's delicious, and it's super easy to make. It's called Adobo sa gata. It's Filipino adobo, but with coconut milk. And for this fifth and last episode of my adobo series, I'll try it with salmon too. But let's start with chicken. First, I'll dice an onion. Then, I'll cut 2 chicken legs into 3 or 4 pieces each. This will allow them to cook faster and more evenly, as well as to soak in more flavor. As a matter of fact, they're usually chopped into even smaller pieces because adobo is typically eaten without using a knife. That's all the preparation you need to start cooking your adobo. So let's add some vegetable oil to a pan, throw in the onion, and saute it for a couple of minutes. At this point, I'll add 1 teaspoon of ginger paste, 2 crushed garlic cloves, 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar, which you can replace with white wine vinegar, and 4 tablespoons of soy sauce. It's worth noting that the original version of adobo sa gata, or even adobo itself for that matter, didn't include soy sauce, and it's something you can definitely try if you want the natural sweetness of the coconut cream to stand out even more. Now I'll add the chicken, and I'll let it cook for about 10 minutes on low heat. Every once in a while, I'll flip the pieces to make sure they brown evenly. Then I'll grind in a generous amount of black pepper, and I'll also drop in 2 bay leaves, a couple of green chilies, which are totally optional, and half a glass of water. As soon as it starts boiling, I'll reduce the heat to low, I'll cover it, and I'll let it simmer for 10 or 15 minutes, depending on the size of the chicken pieces. Now I can pour in 150 milliliters of coconut milk, or you can add more if you want, and I'll let it simmer without a lid for 5 to 10 minutes. This depends on how thick you want the gravy, but bear in mind that as you reduce it, not only does it thicken, it also gets saltier. By the way, adding coconut milk to traditional Filipino adobo is a regional thing, from southern Luzon, which makes sense because it's a region with lots of coconut plantations. But regardless of its variations, adobo is almost always served with some simple white rice. I love it. It's amazing how the sweetness and fattiness of coconut milk cuts through the typical savory and sour notes of traditional adobo. This rich, velvety sauce is typically used with pork or beef as well. But I thought, it's so good, why not try it with salmon as well? It's probably not really common in the Philippines, but trust me, it totally works. I'm skipping the onion this time because I think that for salmon it's better to rely on garlic for the aromatics. So I'll simply reheat a bit of vegetable oil in a pan, and I'll throw in 1 teaspoon of ginger paste and 4 crushed garlic cloves. I will only fry this for half a minute, until fragrant. Then I'll gently lay in these 4 nice salmon fillets, skin side down. Just a couple of minutes, then I'll add the classic adobo seasonings. 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar, 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 bay leaves, and of course some freshly ground black pepper. I'll scoop up some of the liquid and I'll use it to baste the salmon, so it absorbs the flavor even better while it cooks. Time to cover it with a lid and to let it simmer for just about 5 minutes. When I remove the lid, the salmon is nearly done, so I'll pour in 200 grams of coconut milk. I'll let it simmer for a few more minutes. Just like before, you decide how thick you want your gravy to be. And here it is, next to some fragrant jasmine rice. Delicious. The gravy is to die for, and it's so versatile it's hard to imagine something it wouldn't pair with, so feel free to try it with more types of meat, fish, or even vegetables. And let me know in the comments if you do. I truly hope you enjoyed this series of videos on Filipino adobo. I'll leave the links to the previous episodes in the description box below in case you haven't watched them yet. And remember, if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. It's free and it would truly help my channel. So, where are we going next?